how we are all about de-influencing excessive buying in fashion or makeups now? Well, I think it's high time that we point the same lens at the spiritual space. We really need to ask ourselves if our spiritual journeys have become less about that deep internal exploration and more about, well, a flashy, showy consumerism and what I am calling a never-ending spiritual rat race. Today, we're going to dig into how we got here and why we are so obsessed with things like crystals and those sometimes confusing D dimensions. We'll talk about the whole spiritual rat race thing, and most importantly, we're going to rediscover how simply embracing our humanity can actually be the most spiritual thing we can do. So, let's kick things off with the sparkly stuff, crystals. Now, just to be super clear, I am absolutely not saying that there is anything wrong with loving crystals. They are beautiful, and many cultures around the world have treasured crystals forever and have used them for healing. However, in the modern spiritual sense, we have morphed crystals from sacred stones used in rituals into a total consumer must-have. Think about it. We invest in this crystal for abundance and that one for protection, and let's not forget the ones for aura cleansing and the ones for attracting love and ones for family harmony, ones to amplify our spirituality, so on and so forth. And suddenly our spiritual path comes with a pretty hefty price. The price tag is constantly growing, and we are collecting more and more stones. When we overindulge like this, the purchase then becomes meaningless after a while, and no different than a collection of, say, Nike sneakers. It's the same material mindset now driving the need behind the purchase of crystals, even though we may not want that to be pointed out. We even see influencers, and it's frustrating to see them with entire rooms full of crystals, driving this idea that more is always better, and that all our problems can be magically fixed by just buying the right rock. Now let's be real, how often do we actually hear about where these crystals come from, the ethical mining of these stones, and the human cost? All of that just gets totally overlooked. And it's not just crystals. Think about all those super expensive retreats that we go to and the workshops that we attend or want to attend. Spirituality often gets marketed like this exclusive high-ticket item. Transformational retreats that cost thousands of dollars, or workshops promising enlightenment in just one weekend. Think about it. Enlightenment in just one weekend. Look, genuine, powerful experiences can happen at retreats. Absolutely. I have experienced it, and so have you guys. But at the cost, it just shuts so many people out and creates this sneaky idea that real spiritual growth is only for those who can afford it. It really plays on that fear of missing out. So it's FOMO in spirituality, which is absurd. And that desire for quick fixes, implying that if we're not able to shell out big bucks, we are somehow missing the real spiritual journey. And that's what we are talking about. Alright, next up, let's talk about something that can totally pull us out of our present reality. All that talk about the different dimensions and what happens there, the 3D, the 4D, the 5D, and honestly, who knows how many more Ds we will invent. It's become this super complex spiritual hierarchy mixed in with conspiracy theories, and the story often goes, oh, we're stuck in 3D, but if we did X, Y, and Z, then we can finally ascend to 5D consciousness, which to us often feels more like an intellectual game or a spiritual flex of some sort than a truly grounded exploration of what consciousness actually is. Now, concepts of different states of vibrations do have roots in ancient traditions, absolutely, but the modern version is often just oversimplified. It oversimplifies things or even totally misrepresents them. It turns life into this spiritual video game where we're constantly trying to level up, implying that our current reality, our very human experience, is somehow less than something we need to escape from. Think about that. Our human experience as something we need to escape from. Isn't that something? Isn't that telling of where we have gotten ourselves or what we have gotten ourselves into? It can truly make us feel kind of inadequate if we're not ascending fast enough, or if we're still, experiencing very normal human emotions like sadness or anger. This whole chasing dimensions thing can actually disconnect us from the really profound lessons that are right here in our current amazing human life. It makes us feel like we are not doing spirituality right. If we're not constantly vibrating at some perfect, idealized, higher frequency. And all of this, for us, adds up to what I am calling a spiritual rat race. This is the non-stop chasing, the non-stop hankering after something better, something more, something faster, spiritual experiences, external validation, or new acquisitions, instead of just finding genuine inner peace or doing an honest inquiry on who we are. We're always chasing the next shiny thing, the next hot guru, the next crystal, the next dimension to hop onto, because we are told that that is the path to enlightenment or happiness. But are we actually finding it? So then the question is, what's our other options? What if true spirituality isn't about escaping our humanity, but actually about deeply exploring it? What if the path to inner peace isn't about flying off to some higher plane, but about fully, completely living in this one, in this dimension? This is where we need to just de-influence the hype and really, truly embrace our humanity. Seriously, real spiritual growth often happens in the most normal, unglamorous, and deeply human moments, like practicing patience when we're stuck in traffic, or actually listening to a friend who needs us, finding that little spark of awe in everyday nature, or simple experiences, or just quietly sitting with our own uncomfortable emotions without judgment. Spirituality isn't some performance for Instagram. It's an inside job. It's about being honest, being vulnerable, totally accepting ourselves, not just putting on that good vibes only spiritual mask while we are secretly struggling in our humanity. It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary, and about the profound finding in just being present. It's about discovering the magic in the mundane. So then how can we start to de-influence our own spiritual journey? Here are just a few practical tips for you. Tip number 1. First off, get good at critical thinking. Before we jump into the new spiritual idea, or to that next crystal we want to buy, or sign up for that expensive retreat, let's just pause and ask ourselves these really important questions. Does this actually, truly, deeply resonate with us? Or is it just something that's super popular right now and really well marketed? Are we being sold a solution that might actually already be right here inside of us? Is this practice or purchase something that's actually sustainable for my life? Or is it just going to add more stress financially and emotionally? These are the questions you want to ask yourself. Second, connect deeply with our bodies, with your bodies and our emotions, instead of always trying to reach for those higher dimensions. Just really get familiar with our current dimension, that is our physical body, our feelings, and our present reality, our thoughts. Honestly, this is often where the deepest insights and real healing and transformation and the truest spiritual awakening happen. Our human experience is all its messy, wonderful glory. It's all of it, and that is our best spiritual teacher. Third, define your path. What does spiritual genuinely mean to us? It doesn't have to fit into some perfect box, or have a specific look, or be like everyone else's journey. It can be totally unique, a bit messy, quiet or loud. It's our path. So let's just let go of needing any outside validation, and finally really shift our focus from collecting, gathering external stuff, material stuff, to cultivating internal qualities. Seriously, let's prioritize things like compassion, gratitude, inner peace, wisdom, and resilience. Those are the real treasures of any spiritual journey. And guess what? They are available to absolutely everyone, no matter our budget or our understanding of the different D dimensions. So remember, we don't need fancy tools, exclusive and expensive retreats, or super complicated concepts to be spiritual. Real spirituality at its core is about connection. It's about the connection to ourselves, to others, and to the amazing world around us. It's not about jumping on the latest flashy trend or getting caught in a spiritual rat race.